Today's video is going to be a little quickie about a gun that I received for nothing, but it was a Boneyard. Meaning it didn't work, it's all apart. It was all in pieces inside the box. It is, and I'm going to put this, hopefully you can see it. It is a GSG-552 Riz blowback, which it's not, airsoft gun. So it's saying blowback and all that other stuff, but this is not a blowback gun. It's completely different than what you see on the picture there. So I don't know if it's missing parts or it's just not set up on it. Inside the box was the gun, typical wall wart charger. Okay, cleaning rod, the little 8.4 I think this is, or maybe this is a 9.6. It doesn't say here. 8.4. Okay, there was no mags with it, and it has instructions. So I think it's a combination of a couple of guns and not just the one that I got. But here it is, all together. It does have the front Riz. It's a little bit short for this, so I don't know if it's actually this is the gun for it, or this is another gun. Because it's funny, I don't see any GSG markings on here. And when I look at the box, there are some GSG markings on the gun. So I don't know if I got a different lower and a different upper. I know this stock didn't fit it. I had to do some work on it. Well, let me go through everything that I had to do, and then we'll go from there. Got the gun. It's all apart. It's in pieces. The wire going through the center to wire it to the front was missing. I don't know if this was ever wired to the front. Maybe it was just wired to the rear. That's what I'm saying. I think it was a different type of gun, because this is pretty worn here for a new gun. This grip is pretty worn, so I don't know if this is the one that came with it. Anyway, just looking at the gun, the second thing was this stock did not fit it. Okay, and it has a spot for a quick detach, which is not on here. This front handguard fits on here, but it's short. It just barely catches, doesn't cover up. So we're either missing some other parts or whatever. Didn't come with a magazine, and like I said, the wiring was in there. As soon as you plug it in, it starts firing immediately. So I took it all apart, and just with the gearbox in, selector switch moved and everything like that, but it still just fired all the time. What I found, that inside the shuttle on the trigger had broken right off the top, and I'm going to zoom in here on this and point this out. Right on the top here, if you can see it, right here, there's supposed to be a hook that the spring hooks on. So the trigger, when it pushed it shut, it left it shut, and it never popped back out. There was no spring to pull it back. So this, with this little clip broke off here, actually I found the clip too inside, it was not going out of firing all the time. So that was the first thing I did. Oh man, leave it right there. Okay, second thing is, when I already had the gearbox apart, I got a new shuttle that well, not a new one, an older shuttle that I had. Hooked it up, trigger switch works like a champ. Took the cylinder and the piston out, and there was no compression. I mean, you could drop the piston in the cylinder and it would just slide down, and no compression whatsoever. So here's the original O-ring. It doesn't look that bad, but it just didn't have any compression. There was pounds of grease inside there. I'm going to show some pictures after this of all the stuff that was going on. There was pounds of grease inside there. I tore everything apart, wiped it all down, and I re-lubed it up with some silicone grease I had. I changed out the O-ring to another O-ring that I had, put some Teflon tape around the cylinder head. Lots of good compression. I mean, you couldn't push the piston in. So it's got good compression. The spring, though, no lie, I think it's an M190 or it's an M90 spring in this. It was so easy, I just barely clicked it in place. No pressure on the gun at all to use it. So I'm like, okay, that works. Put it all together. And it's one of the few guns that I had that when I put the anti-reversal latch in, it stayed in place. I was shocked. So I was able to slam it together. And I then, before I was done, I ran wiring into the gun to take it from the Tamiya that ended right here, out through the gun, and it's now front wired with high temperature wire here, ending in here, and I have 11.1 in here. And if you can listen, it's not bad. It's about 17 rounds per second. The big thing that I saw, it's shooting 300, 299, 300, 301, 300, 299, 300. So it's 300 with .25s, which gets you up to maybe 325, 330 with 2.0s. On the box, it was saying, and I'll read this verbatim here. On the box, it has this big 480 FPS on the box. Okay, I'm going to bring that into frame so you guys can see that. It has this big 480 right here, 480 FPS. It's very tough to see. You can see it from there. I'm going to zoom that in so you can. 480 FPS. Okay, but down the bottom, down here, right here, it is saying, and I'm going to pull this back, it says on here, 480 with .12s. It does say that down here, but it says 375 with .20 BBs. Okay, I'm shooting 2.5s and getting 300. There's no way it's going to go up 50 FPS, which is 2.0s. Maybe 25, maybe 30. So then we're shooting like 330 with 2.0s. What we could do is we could put a bigger spring in this. Now that I've taken it apart a dozen times, I could put the bigger spring in this and get this shooting in the high 300s. I could put a 120 in this and get it shooting the 350, 360 that it says with 2.5s. But I like the way it shoots right now. It has a TM style hop up, which I have adjusted for 2.5s. Getting out 125 feet, dead nuts on the target. Folding stock is nice, and I like this folding stock because it has the little clip right here. When you clip that in place, it is solid. It don't move at all. Okay, and just pull it out, put it back together, good to go. I gotta tighten that up. I got a loose sight here. I gotta tighten up. Other than that, charging handle works. You can do the slap. It doesn't have blowback though, which is what they were saying. There's no hop-up window or anything like this on this, so this is not the gun that was supposed to be in the box. I got the front end, I got the stock. I don't think I got the gun part that was supposed to be in the box. Maybe I did, I don't know, but it just seems awful funny that the stock had this like peg right here that wouldn't fit this body. Never would fit this body. I'd actually take that peg out to get this stock to go on. So I'm like, this didn't fit with this. And if you can see right here, I'm going to zoom in on this too so you can see. You see right here where there's a big gap? This shows that it's almost back all the way here. It is catching a little bit on this one piece right here. There's two like slots on either side. And it does just catch that. But they're long slots, so you could slide that in. This actually should slide in about another inch, or half an inch. But when you slide it in that far, the pin won't line up. It's almost like this is made for a longer handguard. It's kind of moves around a lot too, so a regular handguard on this might actually work better. I personally think this was originally wired to the rear. This stock and the front grip were from the gun that I got the box, but the actual body is from something else. It has no markings on it that I can see. it's all polymer too, and the charging handle does go back, but it doesn't open the window, this is where the blowback would be. And it doesn't, it just says 6mm airsoft. That's the only marking on it at all. Tore it all apart inside. One thing that might give this away as a CYMA MP5 is the gearbox inside is a CM.30. Okay, is CM.30, which is a standard gearbox that they put in their MP5s. So I'm thinking that it might be a CYMA with the extra parts on the front here from one of the other guns. But other than that, it does shoot. You know, it works pretty good. All the parts are there. Has the nice orange tip on there, and there's threading underneath there. There's a pin in there to take that out if you really want to take that off and put something else on it. But all the pins, the center pin, the pin for the front hand guard, and the pin in the back, all work very tight. I mean, extremely tight trying to get them in. I actually had to start them in there, kept looking at them, and I'm like, yeah, they fit. Tap them in, finally got them to work in. So if you want to change them quick, it's not going to happen. This front pin, okay, is very tight. I can get it and move it. Once I get it to a certain point, I have to have something to get it out with. My other MP5s aren't like that. So, for nothing, this is a great gun. Took me almost no money to fix it. I had a shuttle from another gearbox. The wire I had, the Tamiya ends, I take that back. The Tamiya ends, I had to put 2 Tamiya ends on. I usually charge $1 an end for me soldering them on. So it's like $2, some wire, maybe figure another $2, $1 worth of wire. So $3, and it works. And my time. So I don't know what I want to do with this. I don't know if I want to try to sell it. I just have, like I said, $3 in a shuttle. Oh, let's say $5 in parts altogether, tops. Plus my time, let's say $25. So do I sell it for $28 or $30 and see what I can get out of it? It only shoots 300. Somebody wants to mess with it. It's a TM style gearbox or TM style frame, which means it's a polymer frame that splits. You have to take the motor out, unscrew this. This slides down, then the frame will split in half. You can get it the gearbox and the hopper. It's the old style. This is what I call the TM style. All polymer, very light gun. It's really nice. Maybe somebody for CQB would like this, but it only shoots 300 FPS. It's decent trigger response, so might be good for somebody for CQB. I might hang on to it because I like MP5s, but that's the gun that Boneyard I got for nothing. Put it back together. Works like a champ. I'm going to put some pictures at the end of this of the breakdown that I had and various things. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I had fun working on this. This is actually the 5th gun I've worked on in a week, in less than a week. I worked on MP5K, rewiring it. I worked on a Gene GM4, new gearbox and new bucking. I worked on a sniper rifle. It's a Matrix brand. Fixed it all up. And I worked on an XM8 rifle. Had a bad bucking in it, tore it all apart, put it back together. Beautiful looking gun. And this one here now is the 5th one that I worked on. So I'm 5 for 5. I still have an M14 sniper rifle to throw a barrel and a bucking in. It is a spring M14, so I don't know how that comes apart, but I'm going to have fun with that. I was using it with these SOB, Echo 1 SOB straight mags. Feeds like a champ, no issues. Like I said, getting out to 125 feet. It's only shooting 300 FPS, so, you know, you can probably matrix out of the way when the BB's coming at you. But for CQB, maybe 50, 60 feet, dead nuts on. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, you have a good day.
fuck was that?